SkeleSteve.
Well, welcome once again to the SkeleSteve channel. I'm your host, SkeleSteve. What's up, everybody? Once again, another video from the lovely Highway 101. I believe I'm in Orford, Oregon. I'm by the Humbug Mountain. In this video, this is probably my favorite Highway 101 video. I saw a lot of mountain area and oceanside, so it was pretty cool. But I'm not going to talk about Highway 101 again because I've talked about Highway 101 enough. I've done like 2-3 videos already. That's it. I'm not going to talk about it in this video. Instead, like I mentioned in my last video, that I'm going to be talking about planning a road trip. In this video, I'm talking about planning a long road trip and a planned road trip, so nothing spontaneous. Spontaneous is cool. I would love to do spontaneous trip. Trust me, I just can't because of my work. There's people out there that can just do it. They'll say screw it. One day they'll get up like, yeah, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. I wish I could. I have to plan ahead. I have to give my work time in advance to let them know, hey, I'm taking, several weeks off. Obviously I can take days off. I can say, hey, I'm taking a day off or this and that. They don't mind it, but when it gets to week or weeks territory, then it's more like, okay, you gotta let us know ahead of time, unless it's like a family emergency. That's how most workplaces are. But anyways, yeah, so this is more about planned trips, and it's more about longer trips too, not like weekend trips, anything from a week or longer. And I want to just talk about that. It's, like I said, it's my opinion and my advice. You don't have to sit there and tell me like, oh, but I'd rather do it like this or I'd rather do it like that. I'm not telling you this is my way or the highway kind of thing, or the Highway 101 in this instant. It's just an advice, an opinion. You can take it or leave it. Just don't be a baby about it. Anyways, so like I just want to talk about planning it out in the beginning, like place marking it out, as like I would like to call it. So there's plenty of maps to do that. I use Road Trippers. If you're gonna do more than 7 placements, unfortunately, you do have to pay for it. So keep that in mind. If there's other ones you want to look at, do some research. I think Google and Waze let you do place markers. I know you can do like multi maps when it comes to like multi points or destinations on Google. Like there's like letters like that A to B, then you can add C, D, and so on and so forth. But like I said, I recommend Road Trippers. And the reason why I recommend Road Trippers because it tells you all the things nearby. Wherever you're going somewhere, it'll tell you, hey, there's this mountain park over here for hiking, or the beach is over here, or this museum's over here, and so on and so forth. It tells you things to do in that area. So like I said, I use that, and place marking's good. Like, knowing where you're going is a good thing. Like, you can always like go half cock and just drive wherever, but kind of knowing the area you want to go makes it a little bit more funner for me, just because I want to know, like, I want to go here, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, kind of thing. When I'm on the road, like when I was going here, my idea was go down to California, then go from Highway 101 to California 1, then go to the Redwoods, and then go to San Francisco, and then go to LA, that sort of thing. So I had like, things that got me happy and excited. Some people will just ride and go wherever they want to go. For me, I just want to have that excitement of knowing the next place I'm going to, which made me happy. But anyways, like I said, place marking's good. You want to know where you're kind of going, and it helps out a lot. There's plenty of map apps to help you with that, and it's really good. Another thing I want to talk to you about is how long you want to plan it for. At least a year. At least a year I feel like is good, because you can just think about it and you can do what you want to do. The year is good. The year is great. When I first want to take this trip, it was like 2016, I think. I was planning it out. Late 2015, early 2016, I was planning it out. And the job I was working at, I said, okay, I'm gonna do it next year in 2017. Because they give us 2 free weeks of vacation of PTO, and then 2 to 3 weeks, I believe. And then I was going to buy an extra week, or it was something like that. Like I was going to buy an extra week of PTO. But unfortunately, by the end of 2016, I lost my job there. Then I got a new job, so then I have to wait. In this new job, you have to build PTO. So that's what I had to do was build PTO to get to where I wanted to go. I had to build my time. So I said, okay, it's not gonna be 2017, 2018, or 2019. So I ended up doing it 2018. That was it. I planned everything out. I did tweak into it, and that's another reason why I say you give yourself a year, because you get to figure out more how, like, with timing and everything like that. Because I was supposed to go originally all the way to Florida, but there's no week no I could have done it, but it would have kind of sucked doing that within 3 weeks. I don't know if I could have, maybe with 4 weeks, because I did kind of plan doing 4 weeks, and I was like, maybe that's too much time. I don't know if I can afford taking a month off. But yeah, that was the original plan, and I kind of dwindled it down. It's kind of good to give yourself that time, and it makes you happy about something. And it for sure wasn't a letdown either. So yeah, it, like, how things you wait for, some certain things they could be a letdown, but this, no, it was worth the wait for me. It was really worth it. I was so happy how it came out. So yeah, I've dwindled this trip down several times because I figure I'm not gonna get there in this amount of time, I'm not gonna get there in that amount of time. So that's why you want to give yourself time to plan this out. You want to figure out where you're going and what you're doing and yada 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 kind of thing. Next thing I want to kind of talk about is flexibility too. Be flexible with the trip. Like I said, place marker is good, but always have enough time where you might get stranded or you might lose a couple days, because weather can play, or your bike breaking down could be another factor too. So always have a few extra days in the bank where you can spend, wasting. So don't plan it all out where, like, you have to, like, go here, go there, go here, go there, and you got to start, like, say I got to start June 1st and I got to get back to my house by June 30th kind of thing. No, you want to, like, be flexible to get yourself the rough idea when you want to go back, but always give yourself a few extra days just in case something happens. Like for me, it was, it got rain. I was rained out at South Dakota and Wyoming, so that kind of, like, shifted my trip a little bit, and it gave me a few extra days, which I was happy about. But you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you don't do that and then you're kind of screwed. So I was able to take a different route on this trip, which helped me out a lot, which was good because it all played out well. It all played out good, and the reason why it helped out because I took that time. I missed South Dakota and I spent it with my family in Arizona, which, that meant a lot to me. So it was good. I liked it. Like I said, give yourself that few extra days if you could. If you could do that, if it's possible. Flexibility is always good. And then if you come back early, you can go somewhere else, or you can come back early. One thing too is, like, you don't want to, like, go back to work the next day. So flexibility is another reason why I say flexibility, because if you do come back early, you have more time to rest. Resting is important, especially if you're on your bike for weeks on end. You're riding for a long time. My upper back killed me. My upper back was hurting. I had to get 2 massages on this trip, and I had to go see a chiropractor afterwards. It's not really fun to deal with that kind of thing. I mean, to me it was worth it, but at the same time, I was feeling a sharp pain in my upper back, and my whole body felt like it was off. And that's why I recommend just be flexible with this trip. Just take the flexibility and be happy and just do it. Like, don't like kind of like do everything like where you're kind of like rushing to get to places, because you don't want to rush. You don't want to do that. So it's always good to have that extra time that you can have. I'm going to talk about a few more things like equipment, protection, and if you're going to ride with somebody or not, or if it's going to be a solo trip, and that kind of reels into protection a little bit. So here, I'm going to shut up for a second and I'll come back to it. So I left off on planning and flexibility. So now let's talk about equipment. Now, equipment, the one thing equipment you want is luggage. Saddlebags are great. Now, I hate saddlebags. I don't like them, but they're the necessary evil you need, especially when it comes to the trip. And I had 2 saddlebags that I bought, and I bought the hardware kit for them, and they're actually easy mounts, and they're Viking bags, and they look nice, and they fit my bike well, so I wasn't too upset. I was actually kind of happy with it. And another thing you want too is to me, I think you kind of need like a sissy bar, because you need something to strap your stuff to with a, and you also you need bungee cord for that, and you need straps. And I'd also recommend, if you can, get a luggage bag as well. See, I had the luggage bag, and I had the saddlebags, and then I had the sissy bar, and I had a luggage rack. So I put my luggage bag on my luggage rack, and I had the sissy bar to strap it to on that side. And then on the seat side, the passenger seat side, I brought other things. Now, what else did I bring? Was a 5-gallon jerry can for gas. Now, I don't recommend going overboard like that. It did help me out, though, because when I was coming back, I was around Nebraska, I ran out of gas because I had fuel pump problems. And I've mentioned it before in previous videos. It wasn't because of, I ran out of gas. It was because I was having fuel pump problems, and it ran out right around a quarter. So I had that with me, and it helped out. But I recommend getting an empty 1-liter bottle of water, dump the water on, and use it for gas. And if you're going to rough it, tent and possibly a bedroll, because that's what I had too. And like I said, you want bungee cords and straps and tools. So I had my regular tools that came on the bike that's underneath the seat, and I brought some extra tools that went inside my swing arm bag, because I have a swing arm bag. It doesn't fit a lot, but I kept some tools on there. So you want luggage, straps for that luggage, and bungee cords. And if you're camping, bring a tent, bedroll if you can. And for strapping all this down, sissy bar with a luggage rack on it. And saddlebags too. If you can do saddlebags, I recommend it. Next thing we're going to talk about is protection. Now, you're going on a far trip. You're going out of your element, out of your realm. So I recommend bringing some sort of protection. I, for one, am I have my CPL, so I carry. I, have a pistol. I brought that with me. Now, some of you are not comfortable with guns or firearms of any sort, so if you want something else, a knife, taser, pepper spray, whatever you can get, whatever. I don't know if you can buy tasers, I'm pretty sure you can. I've never bought a taser, but anyways, shoot, nunchucks, daggers, brass knuckles, I guess, salami stick. Even if you're into maybe a dildo, I don't know, maybe you're okay with bringing your dildo with you. I don't know what the hell you want to bring, but whatever it is to help you against somebody. You don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're getting into. Maybe you don't have cell phone service in these areas, and you can't call 911, so you gotta defend yourself. Now, when it comes to pistol, I must tell you, you must follow the state law that you live in and the state laws that the states you're going to. Some states allow constitutional carry, so you can conceal, because when you're on your bike, it's like being in a vehicle. You have to have for some states you have to have a license. Other states, it's constitutional carries, you don't have to. But for the states, you have to have license, and you cannot do it. And if you're a CPL holder, take in mind that some states will not recognize your CPL license. I'm from Michigan. New York doesn't recognize it. Illinois, Oregon, California, and a couple other states. And I couldn't carry when I was in Oregon and California. Right before I got to Oregon, I took everything apart, took the magazine out, separated from the gun, and I put in a lock case. So if you do bring a firearm, make sure you have some sort of lock case with you. That's important, just in case you go to states like that. But remember, follow the laws. If this law says you cannot carry, don't carry. Do not bring your firearm with you. If you and easy one, make sure it's registered and it's in your name. Do not bring someone else's firearm. Do not bring an illegal firearm. Follow the laws of that state and of your state. Any firearm laws, follow it, especially when it comes to concealed carry. And that's all I have to say about that. Just remember, follow your state law and other state laws, and federal laws too, and some city laws. But that's for you to figure out. Do your research. I'll try to post a link about that down below. Anyways, next subject, we're going to talk about planning by yourself versus others. Now, take into consideration, flexibility comes into play, especially if you have other people coming with you, because you can't take an account for what they want. Some people have to go to the bathroom, so you guys all have to pull over. Some people have to fill up gas more than you. Some people, just want to pull over and stretch your legs. Never know. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe they want to do this and you don't want to do it, or vice versa. Then you have to compromise. It's a whole different ballgame when you bring people, and it can be it can be a headache, and it can be fun, but it can also be a headache. I've gone on weekend trips with somebody, and it was fun, but the person I went with, he's a great friend of mine, but he loves taking pictures, and he wanted to pull over every time to take a picture, and he jokes about it. He goes, "That's the Asian in me." He's a Filipino guy. So, "That's the Asian in me. I gotta take pictures of everything, man. I gotta take pictures." I'm like, I guess you have to, but we gotta go. We're on kind of a schedule here. But yeah, so taking effect, I was supposed to go on this trip with other people, but they backed out. He was one of them too. He didn't really back out. He just couldn't go because every year he goes to the Philippines for 3 weeks, so he couldn't come to this trip, which I understand. He has to see his family. And my other buddy got a new job, so he couldn't make it. But I'm happy I went by myself because I did my own things to my own accord, and this is what I needed. I really needed this trip for myself. And if you're going with someone else, I mentioned the flexibility is key. So, brief rundown, flexibility is important to make sure you have extra days just in case something happens, and resting days is important. And mapping out, make sure you map out. And I've stressed that mapping out's important. And protection, I mentioned, when it comes to anything that'll help you out to get out of a certain situation. Like I said, firearms, read state laws and federal laws. Read the laws about firearms. And equipment, I mentioned, make sure you have some sort of luggage with you, something to carry your stuff. It's very important. Sometimes you want to buy extra stuff too, and you don't have the areas to carry them. So just remember that luggage is important. And I mentioned going by yourself. You can be less flexible being with other people. You have to be more flexible and more aware for that person. I almost forgot to mention, bring water with you and some sort of food, like snacks or something. If you can have like a canteen like I did, I brought a canteen with me, and I brought a backpack, like a camelback that stored water in there, and it had a straw. So when I was riding through the desert, I was able to drink water while I was riding, keep myself hydrated. And bring like I said, bring a snack with you, something. So just in case you can't make it to get food, you can just stop and eat and keep going. That's what I did. And bring rain gear. That's the mistake I made. I didn't bring rain gear with me, and that'll help out too if you get caught in the rain, and if you don't want to get that sharp pain from the rain, if you're not into that, or getting doused. Anyways, this is where I'm going to leave it right here. This is my opinion, my advice. Take it or leave it. Make sure you like this video, comment if you can, share if you can as well, and subscribe. Also ring my guardian bell to kill those YouTube algorithm gremlins. Help those out, help boost us up. Anyways, you enjoy. SkeleSteve out.